Hey guys, this is Clay Hayes back with another field tip, and today we're going to be talking about using your smartphone to analyze your archery shot. So stick around. So if you followed very many of my archery videos, I'm sure you've seen me use my smartphone to help tune my bow and arrow setup. I use it on the slow motion function to really get a very detailed and fine read on arrow flight. You can see knock high, knock low, left, right, all sorts of different arrow flight characteristics if you have the angle right. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But the usefulness of these smartphones goes far beyond just tuning your setup. You can really tune yourself. You can tune your release and your follow through. You can see very, very minute movements that could be throwing off your shots. Before we get into the meat of this video, I just want to remind you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell icon while you're down there, because I'm uploading a new video every single week. So all of these newer smartphones have slow motion capabilities. These phones will film at 240 frames per second, which isn't super slow motion, but it's plenty enough to see some very minute movements in your bow hand and in your release. This shot is a great example. You can see an obvious drop in my bow hand as a release. This is a big no-no. So let's talk about how to set this up so that you get the right angles so that you can read the things that you need to. Now there's a couple of different angles that I really like for looking for different things in my shot. One of them is more of a straight on angle, kind of like this, and I'm looking at my bow hand. I'm looking at if, when I release, is my bow hand dropping, is it moving left, or is it jumping straight towards the target? It's often very, very small movements that you're looking for. Look at the difference between these two shots. In the first shot, you can see I drop my bow hand very slightly. In the second shot, it's much more stable. These small movements might be difficult for you to pick out on this video, but when you're looking at it on your cell phone, you're going to be able to zoom in and you're going to be able to scrub back and forth and move from frame to frame. So it's going to make picking out these small movements much, much easier. And that can help you to really narrow down what's going on during your shot, help you focus on what you need to be focusing on to help you develop a more consistent shot. Another angle is a close-up side profile so that I can see if I'm getting any kind of collapse at all, or just what my string hand is doing when I release that arrow. What it should be doing is coming back, hitting anchor, expanding, and moving straight back. If you can see any forward movement of your string hand upon release, that means you're collapsing on your shot, and that's something you're going to have to work on, because that will definitely throw off your shots. Another good angle to look for back tension or any signs of collapse is from straight behind and just a little above your shooting arm elbow. I also use an angle that's very, very similar to this to look for arrow flight, but I'm a little bit farther back so that I can actually see the arrow in flight. But for this shot, we want to be pretty tight so that you can get a good look at your elbow and see if there's any movement. What you're looking for here is movement in the elbow. Again, you don't want to see any forward movement here. What you're looking for, ideally, is for that elbow to come back and around your body as you release. So there's a couple options for holding your smartphone while you're doing this filming. One of them is obviously just to have someone hold it for you and do the filming for you. That works really well because you can get them to move around to get the proper angles, but you don't always have somebody to do that for you. And so having a little device like this that will hold the phones, you can pick these up for a couple of bucks. But a selfie stick works pretty well with the extendable arm, because you can move it up and down just to get that perfect angle so that you can see the things that you need to see. The only problem with a selfie stick is when you have this thing extended like this, any wind at all is going to cause that phone to move around and can cause some problems with getting the footage that you need. So filming yourself in slow motion to analyze your shot is extremely, extremely useful. But I want to give you just a word of caution about what to do with that video once you have it, or what not to do with the video once you have it. So one of the things that I see commonly is for guys to film themselves shooting and then post that video to a public forum and just ask for critique or ask for feedback, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem though is that you're gonna have a few guys that will comment and they're gonna pick out exactly what the problem is. They're gonna be spot on and point you in the right direction. The problem is that those comments, those very useful comments, are diluted, or they're thrown in this mix with, you're gonna get 100 other comments that pick out everything under the sun. Everything from the way that you hold your bow to the way that you're holding your tongue. Things that just are not useful at all. And so picking out those good, helpful comments is going to be very, very difficult for you. So if you're running into trouble with consistency in your shooting, just try to set up your cell phone, put it on slow-mo, and try to film yourself from some of these different angles and review that footage and see if you can pick out some things that you know you might need work on. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this week's field tip. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. And again, hit that bell icon. With that, we'll see you next time.